Hey skiers, it's Bob with SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2026 ski test. Got a new one for you today. It's a Volkl Peregrine 78. Peregrine came along last year replacing Deacon. They really kind of started with two new models, the 80 and the 82. Makes sense that they would then transition to something a little bit narrower, perhaps even a little bit more intermediate to early advanced oriented, and that's where this Peregrine 78 comes in handy. So really kind of an all-mountain carving ski here, a little bit different of a shape than the wider 80 and different build for sure than the 82, but this ski really holds up well in short to medium radius carves at kind of a moderate speed. I spent a couple runs on this thing earlier this winter, and while I'm not the target audience for this ski, I actually had a really good time. There's just something to be said for a ski that just comes around cleanly, makes a nice, neat carved turn. I can imagine that someone who's kind of in this ski's wheelhouse on paper would really get along well with it. And we kind of have noticed over the years that this trend for these wider frontside carving skis just makes a lot of sense, especially if you ski in a place that doesn't get a ton of snow and you spend most or all of your time on groomers. Having something that aligns with what you do most of the time is just a good way to get great value out of your equipment, because you're really kind of playing the numbers here with something like this Peregrine 78 here. From a construction perspective, it does have the multi-layer wood core, so poplar and beech in there. Then we get a steel band through the center, and that really does a good job at absorbing vibrations and kind of reducing chatter. And then they also still have their 3D ridge running through the center of the ski, so a raised portion on the middle, kind of doubling down on that center spine, which I think makes a lot of sense, especially for intermediate skiers who don't want to feel the ski bouncing around. This will keep it on kind of the straight and narrow and your chosen path, which is very comforting for skiers who are kind of looking to get that next level of confidence. We do get an integrated binding system here, their Low Ride 11 system, and because it's built into the ski, not screwed on like a plate, you get a nice direct connection to the ski and very little lost energy. So each and every bit of movement that you put into your boot goes really directly to the ski, thanks to that integration of the binding system here. It's not too heavy, not too light. This is the 163. So ski with binding on the scale is 2,750 grams. Just makes a lot of sense from a mobility standpoint, but really good energy too. They use 3D glass as well. So curving the glass over the sidewall. Anytime you're putting a material like that in a three-dimensional format, you're stiffening it and getting the appropriate reaction out of it. So pretty cool stuff from Volkl. They put a lot of sophistication and engineering into more mid-range skis, which I think a lot of people appreciate for sure. And then from a shape and profile perspective, Volkl also kind of goes a different way and doesn't put a whole lot of camber under their frontside skis. They're not building the camber or the energy into the ski. They're relying on the construction to do that. So that actually gives you a flatter ski, a smoother overall profile, and that leads to just easier turning. Their 3D radius is pretty innovative in the 78 as well, as opposed to doing a long, short, long split. They actually do a shorter radius in the tip and in the middle, and then a longer radius in the tail. If I can read these numbers, 17, 12, 25. So that's allowing for the release phase of the turn to just be a lot easier and smoother. The ski is going to hook into a turn really well. It's going to carve a short turn underfoot, but then it does not just rip you into the next one, allowing the skier to have more control over the finish phase of the turn. So that's kind of a nod to the more intermediate to low-end advanced section of skiers, and I think it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, there's a little bit of tip and tail rocker here as well, adding to that ease of use and just smooth overall nature. Pretty cool stuff from Volkl. We do have some tester feedback here. Another skier who's not really, he's probably my size, Eric Timmerman, I expected this ski to be too short or too soft. It wasn't either. Multi-radius shape is good because even though the ski can bang out short turns, it's pretty happy to cruise in longer radius turns too. So yeah, I think it's easy to get hung up on the different radii, those numbers involved in the ski. You know, and you're more than welcome to do that and try to feel those different turn shapes and styles. But I also think there's something to be said for just letting the ski do its thing and just enjoying it and not thinking too hard about it, because all it really does is makes it easy to get from one turn shape to the next, even within a turn, to tighten it up or to get more energy and pep out of the turn. This multi-radius side cut just allows you to do that easier without thinking too hard about it. But yeah, really cool new kind of front side all mountain ski, short radius carver here from Volkl at 78 underfoot. You know, it's not as versatile as the wider skis in the Peregrine line. There are also wider front side oriented skis out there. This one just kind of sits right in the middle. And I think it's going to make a lot of skiers really happy this year. So make sure you check out this 2026 Volkl Peregrine 78 here at SkiEssentials.com, and we'll see you out there on the hill. Bye.